Okay, now in today's tutorial we're gonna look at how to color code our web page so that it looks much better than what it looks like now, and also looking at how specifically certain colors can be used using the hexadecimal codes of the colors. Now before we start, we need to look at few of the websites, okay, so that way we understand the color schemes they're coming from and things like that. So first of all, let's look at a website which I normally use is eBuyer. Okay, can you see the color scheme of this website? The main branding, they branded everything around one color. Okay, if you look at it, is mainly down to orange. Your menu buttons, they've been used using the branding color of orange. Their banner is in orange, the search bar is in orange, and can you see how this information is laid out on the home page in a like a simple small rectangles. When you click on it, it will take you to the page, but all the information behind it, the web page, is in white color. That way all the information can be seen easily. Quickly look at BBC, see what their color scheme is, and again very simple, pure black. And they've kind of like done a menu button which I've done on my page, but yet the concept is black and white, nothing new, and little bit of grays to shade the background area to highlight the main point. uh, let's try Apple website, gray and white. Okay, and just quickly one more, let's look at maybe Sainsbury's. Within this one, again the branding is around orange and white, simple crisp white, uh, just using like a gray kind of color for the borders to highlight where the information is. But can you see how everything is branded? So when you're thinking about creating a website for any purpose, this is what you need to come up with. You need to brand your website, and it's all around your banner, your menu buttons, but the main information where it sits on is pure white. Whereas Sainsbury's have changed the background color of the page to be gray, and the web page itself is in white. That way it's kind of like focusing out towards you. Okay, just to recap: white web page and information in front with branding of orange. BBC, everything is white, the color is, page is white, the information is in kind of like gray black. Apple, pure simple white with gray kind of black fonts and stuff, so the branding is mainly black. Sainsbury's looking at orange as well. Just quickly look at Uxbridge College website, see how they stand up with. Again, can you see their branding? The branding color is like this aqua green type color. The menu button is using is kind of like gray black, but they've used drop down menu to find information. But all the information where it lies on, okay, the branding, can you see the branding colors? They've been keep on using it again and again, but the page is pure white. They've added a banner in there but keeps on using the Uxbridge College colors, but if the information is inside the white page area. Okay, so that's what you need to think about, how you're going to display the information in white but bringing in the branding. Okay, so before we start, we need to start looking at a website called colorschemedesigner.com. Okay, it's a very cool website where you can try to start with a branding of your color, and you can see how your website is going to look in certain angles and stuff like that. So number one we need to start off with is decide which color you want to start working with. Okay, uh yellow, it's too bright. Orange, red is too uh, it's a lilac-y purpley color going into bluey color to there. That looks slightly interesting, kind of like Uxbridge College website there. Green is too green, too bright. Okay, you need to also understand, stay away from bright colors, otherwise everything will start looking too bright on your website. Okay, I've decided to go around this color, bluey, kind of like greeny color area, and I'm going to click on complement color, which is going to show me that if I have this type of website, what color will complement that, so that I can use these colors to highlight my main information. Okay, right, let's see what's cool about this website apart from selecting the colors and stuff like that. Okay, can you see here at the bottom there's something called light page example. So what this website does is, if you select this, it will show you an example of this website using these colors in a light colors. Can you see how it looks quite nice? I can see how I can use these menu buttons exactly same as this. However, I might want to change the font so it can be seen quite easily. And can you see how they've used the similar colors as your main headings, subheadings, and and this one here is kind of like a highlight guiding user to look at this. Now let's look at in the dark format of this page. Again, looks okay, nothing bad with this color, just that the fonts might need to play around in the menu. But I like the style, the way they've used white inside this page, and I think I might use something like that as well. So let's look at the colors in specifically. So we have to go to export and click on HTML CSS. Hopefully this will give you the colors that work together. Now these are called hexadecimal code, so that computer can understand what this is to represent this color. Okay, now the other website I need to introduce you is this W3 School color mixer website. So if you want to find this, just go to Google, type in W3 School space color mix, it comes up here. Some colors we use, it might not really work really well in our website, so we might want to find a better color. So in this example, I'm just going to copy this color here, take it in here. We need to leave the hash there and overwrite on top of it, submit. So it brings the color in, and what this website basically does is blend the colors together. Now my rule, I decided myself that you should never blend two separate colors together, because the color will not work really well. The way I work is the bottom color, set it to white, which is 6F, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So what it's trying to do is, the color you've chosen is trying to blending into white, giving you option to select a very subtle color, which works really well in your website. However, you just need to play around with it to find the best color, so then from there on you can keep on using that color again and again. Okay, so there's about 2 points we need to work with. So we're going to keep on using these colors, this website, to get the colors. And if the colors doesn't work properly, I'm going to be using this color mixer to try to blend the colors in. Okay, let me just minimize this, take it out of the way, and just quickly explain how we're going to work on this. At the moment, we don't need to worry about the index page, because we don't declare any colors and elements in the index.html page. It's going to be mainly inside our layout and main nav at the moment. So first thing is, we have to decide using the color wheel designer, do which concept we want to follow. So I like the light page, and I also kind of like the dark page as well, but I think we stick to this element, and possibly I don't know if we want to try this method with white in it, and then everything else is white as well. So we play around which looks better, we stick by it. um okay, so we need to choose this color first, is this one. So copy that, minimize that, just put it on one side. I got too much too much page. I'll just put it down here, so we're going to work on Internet Explorer for time being. So we look at the header tag, because the header tag in the CSS is controlling the top part, and where it says background color yellow, I'm going to change that to the color we have found. Control C, Control V. But in order for this to work, we need to put the hash at the front, because this is how the computer processes the color code. So if I save this, go down here, press F5, can you see how it looks? Okay, and quickly change the font color. And what was the font color used? It's kind of like whitish color. Yeah, let's try white. So the text on this one is the heading 1, so we need to bring in the heading 1 under the header. H1, open curly bracket, close curly bracket, and just say color hash 6f 1 2 3 4 5 6. FFF means white, and if you type in 6 zeros means black. Okay, so just quickly put in the right place, Control S. Just quickly have a look. This is just, yeah, no, doesn't look that bad. Okay, now because this heading tag, I might be using it again somewhere else, and I don't want white into white, so I'm just going to quickly go to index and control this heading one slightly better, because I might use it again, may not use it again. So just give it a class equal heading 1, call it heading 1. Okay, save that. Now if I press F5 here, it's still going to pick H1, but it's not picking heading 1. So now we need to go back here, change this to heading 1, and because it's a class, we need to put a full stop, and it will still work. Excellent. Now we need to decide about the menu buttons. Are we going to kind of like do the same thing, or bring in this color with slightly darker? Let's quickly look at an example where they've used in the lighter one. So it's darker going to light. We can do opposite, or we can do the same. In the dark page is dark to light as well. Okay, let's look at the colors. I think it'd be better if we try to play with this color, and the second color will be this or this, or we need to play around with it. So quickly minimize this. We need to now, because we're playing with the menu buttons, we need to go in the main nav and look for the colors for the background. So the first color is here, so put hash and copy the color code and see what it looks like. Press F5. Red, in that it looks too bright. Change the border color to be a darker color, so I'm going to use this one here. Control C. So come to this page, need to take the red out, hash Control V, Control S, press F5. Much better. The red doesn't work really well, so let's do the hover color. It's not letting me copy. Why is copy that? So go into the hover section, the background color, change that to the color we copied. B, is it the right one? Yep, save. Come here, press F5, hover over, much better. The only thing is, I probably do it other way around, because this red text inside is annoying me. So quickly look at the color red and change that to white. So if you put hash 6f 1 2 3 4 5 6, and also change this white, because it's better to start using the color code from now onwards. 1 2 3 4 5 6, save that, press F5. Okay, so it looks slightly better, but let's try other way around. Put this lighter color in here, and then bring the original this color on the hover. So we choose this one, C, and put it on the hover color, press F5. Kind of like looks okay. Yeah, I think we might need to put the border in there. Okay, now can you see this yellow part which is coming at the bottom? According to this color will be suitable to use as the complement color. So let's change that here. So on the hover, the border bottom, from yellow we bring in the new code, save it, press F5. That orange doesn't look that great. Doesn't look that great. What if you put the border top as well? So what I'm trying to do is, we got the border which comes at the bottom like so. I'm trying to see if I can put one at the top and see what it looks like. So it's gonna be 2px space solid space hash control V is the same color as the bottom one. See what it looks like. Press F5. Okay, at least it's trying to pick out the menu buttons. Make the border slightly thicker, so change that to 4, see how it affects it. 5. Okay, if you put the thicker border, it's quite okay, but the color seems to be messing around with the eyes, too bright. Change this back to 2 to save that, and use another color. Maybe try this one, see how it comes up, see what it looks like in the bottom. Slightly subtle. Let's try at the top. No, it's still bright. Okay, we come to this later, but at least the color system is working, and maybe, yep, looks okay. When we change the color around, looks fine. Okay, next thing, the footer, are we going to leave it? The information area, don't forget, is going to keep on growing, okay? And we're going to look at it later. This navigation part, I think I'm going to blend it with the header, so as if it looks like one area. So if I go to the layout now, go to the main nav, there's a pink there, so that's why the pink is coming up there. So I'm just going to take the header color from the header, Control C, instead of pink put it there and save it. Press F5. Much better. However, it looks odd in that, like that. Let me just quickly have a look in the big. It's not bad, it's just the color is going inside there. We'll play with the color later, but I think that looks okay for time being. The menu being part, okay, unless, yes, much better idea. See the menu color which is already on there, we're just going to put that at the background, which is a much better option. So I'm just quickly go to the main nav, get the background color from here, go into the layout, and instead of using the header color, we're going to use the navigation color, so it just quickly blends in, and paste it in there and quickly save it. Come down here, press F5. Yeah, okay, let's quickly have a look so you can see the difference from the top. Header, the menu bar, now the section is going to convert it into white, and the footer, I'm going to look at this color to see what it looks like in there as well. Okay, section, I hope you remember what is white color now. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Section is this green color where the information is going to grow. Come here, press F5. Yes, not bad. And look at the footer part. Quickly go back here and just quickly see what they've done for the footer in light page. So they use a darker color there, so it kind of like linking with the menu one. Try to do something like that, see how it comes up with. Minimize it on the side, so that's just the header color on the footer. Come down to the footer, instead of yellow, paste that in there and save it. Press F5. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad, in fact. Much better. Good. Okay. So basically now you've branded your site. Okay. And one more thing we need to do is look at the font we're going to use. Okay. Never leave your font as Times New Roman. So we need to bring in another tag which is going to link to the fonts. Okay. Let's quickly okay, before we start looking at the fonts, you need to understand two things. Okay, web safe font color fonts to be used. What it's trying to say is not to use fonts which has got kind of like where's it gone? Let's look at this one. Okay, the main thing the web safe font to understand is not to use any fonts that has got serifs, meaning this part like that. Okay, always use the fonts which are related to sans serif, where they're just plain text without the parts on the sides or the fronts. Okay, the main reason behind it is if this serif fonts are used, it tends to be very hard to read the fonts. If you look at this W3 Schools website, they're kind of like using a sans serif fonts. Possibly it could be an Arial, I'm not sure. You need to look at the code to understand what font they're using. But if you can see, it's quite straightforward to read what is written there. Okay, and if this website was written in serif format, it's probably going to be difficult to read. So you might need to do some research on that topic to understand why it is important to use sans serif over serif fonts. The next thing we need to understand is the website we were on, which was website fonts. Okay, how to display fonts in the website. The best way to use is the way it's written in here: font dash family, first font, comma, second font, comma, third font. As it states here, very simply, the font family property should hold several fonts names. It's kind of like a fallback system to ensure maximum compatibility between the browser and the operating system is in place. So the idea is, if the browser does not recognize the first main font to be used, it's going to look for the second one. If the second one is not available in the operating system, it will look for the third one, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, and the we're not going to use Times New Roman. We're going to follow the Arial format on sans serif, which is this one here. But before we do that, we need the code, so I'm just going to quickly copy that. Copy, minimize this back. So inside the layout, right at the top, I'm going to open body, because all the fonts in the body needs to be controlled, and paste it. Oops, press the wrong button, and paste. And need to end the statement like so. Okay, now we're not going to use Times Roman because it's going to mess up the page. So instead, well, it's not going to mess up the page, it's still going to display everything correctly, but it's not following the web safe font combination. So I'm just going to quickly come and get these fonts here, save that, and just paste. Control right mouse click and paste. And I want my Arial to be the main one, so just put inside the quotation. Save that, come down here, press F5. Much better to see, interesting to it looks very easy, clear to read. The only problem I have now is the spacing, because the Arial is like spacing too close. Can you see it's kind of like squashed up? So just need to space it out slightly. And what I'm gonna do is, before we go away, I'm just gonna quickly copy this, because this information was used to do a website part here. So I'm just gonna come in there and reference it, so next time when I'm around I can understand what I did, how I did it. But remember, don't forget to comment your code, it's very, very important. And close the comment statement there and save. Now the part I was talking about is spacing the fonts, so it's easier to read. And if you don't know how this works, the easiest thing to do is type in CSS font spacing on Google. Letter spacing property, much better, that's straight away. Okay, letter spacing 2 pixel. Is this what we want? Just quickly, because this W3 School website is quite cool, because sometimes when they show the example you can try it yourself. So let's play around. You can see, yep, that's what we want. So it's letter spacing 2 pixel, so it's spacing out the information that way. So that's what you need to do. So I'm just going to quickly copy that, Control C, come in here and paste it. So it's spacing out 2 pixel to see how it looks first. Okay, so I'm just going, at the moment I'm putting the body and see if it's going to be reasonable or not. So come down here, press F5. Is for the banner, it seems to be okay. Menu button seems to be okay, but it's messed up here, we need to correct it. For the footer it doesn't look that great, so now we need to individually, probably is going to be better idea to individually control it than spraying it generally everywhere. So the heading part I need to put it, so I'm just going to quickly cut it off from here, put it inside the header because I need that to be spaced out nicely. Save it, refresh the browser, see what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, so this is back to normal, the footer is back to normal. We can do little bit spacing on the menu button. So in order to control this properly, we're going to go inside the navigation button, and all you need to do is put the letter spacing here if you need to. Okay, now that's practically it, I think. Forgot about this one. Just need to change the font color to white in the footer. So just need to go. What have I done? I think I've closed the layout.css. Okay, there you go. Just quickly go down to the footer and get the color FFF and put it inside the footer element. Save it, press F5, much better. Instead of giving the property left, okay, I think that seems to be fine. Just quickly check in my Chrome browser. Much better. Okay, we got one problem where in Chrome the text is coming up big size. So what we can do is in our menu area we can define the CSS text size, and again, if you don't know how to do it, just ask my friend Google or W3C and it should come up with the font size. So you got CSS font size, CSS font size. W3 Schools has picked it up. So font size, they're using percent. We're not going to use percent, we're just going to use size. So I'm just going to quickly try it out instead of using percentage. Instead of just using percentage, I'm going to play around with pixels. Say 10 px, see what it looks like. Submit code. Can you see it's kind of like better? So yep, I don't mind that, so I'm just going to quickly copy that. If I can copy it, copy, and inside we need it placed inside the main hyperlink because it's all text decoration. Control C inside the main hyperlink. Okay, and also on the hover, because when the font hovers we need to do the same thing. So save that, just quickly have a look, move this out of the way, press F5, come here, press F5. I think 10 is too big, so let's reduce it down to font size 10, say 8, save. It's not picking up the font size. Okay, let's play around with percentages then. No, it should work. It's not working. Let's try 5 just for fun of it. Okay, so 8 is too big, so make it 5. Save. Press F5. Press F5. Aha! It's not picking up because it's in the wrong place. Cut it off from there. It's in here. We need to put. Just put it at the bottom. Save. I was getting a headache there. No, still same thing, putting the wrong place. It's working on the hover. Inside the hover is working, but it's not displaying on the main one. Just gonna try to take it out from here and put it inside the UL main. Save it. No, doesn't like it there as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna come back to this later once I do some little research. But in order for this to be corrected, the size where the contactors is coming at the bottom, all I'm gonna do is increase the box size, that's all. So the width is 100, so change that to 150 px. Save that, press F5, press F5, look at it, the maximum, much better. Okay, and look at the Internet Explorer, maximize it, press F5, much better. Okay, so sorry you went outside the topic, but the main element is to understand how to brand your website by looking at the starting cutoff point is kind of like looking at this page, the color scheme designer, and play around with the areas which your specific colors you want to work with. But remember, the most important part is this color system. Now if you're going to close this browser down and you're not going to get the same color again, so it's best to just quickly copy this website and save it in your code somewhere so that you can come back to it whenever you want to. So I'm just going to put a star there and say colors used and paste it in there. So when you look at this website again next time, you got a reference to it so you can keep on going back to it. Okay, now thing about branding is you start with branding with your banner. Start and use your banner colors in your website. So we looked at eBuyer, BBC, Apple, Sainsbury's, and Oxford College as well. And based on that, somehow I managed to pick up the Oxford College colors, if you notice on my website. And then the idea is you go back to the color wheel, look at the lighter and darker schemes and decide how you want the web page to come up. Okay, based on following the system of white. More white, much better the outcome is going to be. We don't want to make it, if you look at this website, it's too dark, but the idea behind this is the information is trying to show. That's what it is. Okay, on that point, what we've done is back to our website, we changed the colors based on the color scheme designer and kind of like blended in together as a brand.